When Oblout was released, everyone with half a brain cell was pissed. But the same people started to hype up this standalone add-on and don't stop to this day, which says everything about the weight of their opinion on Oblout. This shit is filled with bugs. Besides the errors and all the crashes, some of the main quests are unplayable. I had to open the developer tools and issue progression commands one by one. Or how about a random dude just running up to me on a street, punching my face, after which every NPC in the entire game became hostile. The only thing they were chasing with this release is Metacritic score, with zero care for the quality. It was released many years ago, and to this day they've fixed nothing. Also, it's divided into ghettos, so my Steam version which I bought with my money isn't integrated into Steam properly. So, yeah, Oblout 2 is just more of the same Oblout. Claiming that this has anything to do with Fallout is quantifiably false. Like, absolutely nothing, and I'm not even talking about the isometric view. Fallout is a unique combination of different mechanics. It has the classic CRPG structure with overworld map travel and random encounters. It adds deep turn-based tactics combat instead of the line fights or the two-phase one. It imbues dialogue trees with stat checks and integrates RPG elements into them. And on top of all, it implements PNC puzzles and structure into the whole thing, with a ton of alternative solutions. This garbage is obviously not an adventure game. It's an extremely bad FPS game, of that serious Sam paradigm, where the enemies just run at you in a straight line, but with no according kinesthetics or gunplay. WATS is created for people handicapping themselves with tractor controls, and it is not just useless, it actively makes things worse. While you just shoot everyone, most of the guns have pinpoint accuracy. But once you open WATS, it calculates your stats to have a 5% chance to hit. Why would you ever use it, if you can just run backwards and plink at Deathclaws with .22? Or just climb something which they can't reach? The dialogues are crap too. The game openly tells you all of the stat checks. In some cases you can even just leave, eat some drugs, return and pass the stat check. And of course Oblout uses the terrible Oblivion talking head system of dead puppets staring at you with empty eyes. This shit is not here nor there. It attempts to have some hardcore realism and hides enemies' levels. So you can see two hobos with shotguns, but one can be level 5 and the other level 50, because you are not supposed to go there yet. This Oblivion Lost wannabe is not Stalker and is not Borderlands, and it's worse than both. And yes, naked dudes with a shotgun are superior to you wielding an endgame energy rifle and wearing Enclave armor, which is a painfully ugly rubber leotard instead of an iconic powersuit walking tank. Having such conventionalities in a CRPG is okay due to you taking the role of a hand of God, looking down from the sky, and making suggestions to the protagonist. But in a first-person game it was painful even back in the arena, and when it's guns instead of sharpened metal sticks it's even worse. Since it's the Elder Scrolls game, you are role-playing as a hobo collecting garbage on a street for all your hobo crafting needs, and the game is littered with the crap you want to collect. Because in the past hundreds of years no one did pick the world clean. Not just empty tin cans, but even food, which somehow is still okay to eat. Also, all timers for drugs do not run while you sleep for days. You are always running over encumbered, and since there's no hard limit there's no reason not to, all you lose is the stupid fast travel. You can collect hundreds of tons of garbage in a location and then run backwards to your base, since it's faster than forward. The whole instant travel is already a terrible thing in a wannabe RPG, but there's even a skill opening you the entire map at the start of the game, which is tiny. A really, really tiny map. And how the hell can you have Pip-Boy 3000, when the last one was the peak of pre-war technology and was so miniature it could fit into a giant suitcase? The level cap is really low, you hit it way before the end of the game and then you don't have even this Skinner incentive to force yourself to suffer through this shit. The characters sometimes are mildly interesting for a second, but that passes really fast. Lily, despite because her concept is so stupid, is the only memorable one. The whole writing is obviously garbage, and the story is terrible with terrible narrative. With NCR basically rebuilding the society even more, they had to relocate the action into another border territory with some wilderness left. But somehow people went back to using the bottle caps near the factory of bottles, independently of the first Fallout society. There's a ton of currencies floating around to no point. They are not a part of narrative, which is absent, and only waste space of the already terrible cramped one-dimensional interface. If it was only NCR and Legion currencies with their value changing because of your decisions in critical plot points to take one or other side, that would work. Or since this whole village is under the influence of New Vegas, it would be cool to have only casino chips as currency, and both NCR and Legion ones being devalued and marginalized. Bottle caps are a cargo cult. Half of the quests and storylines end with nothing. The whole fight between NCR and Legion over New Vegas is garbage. Both factions are represented by tiny outposts. Your contribution is meaningless since you can't wipe or subdue through politics one or another. If you kill Caesar, there's the whole Legion left. The whole game says that it has minimal impact. Then what's the point? You can do nothing in this story. Any of your actions are meaningless diegetically. And what's up with the whole Legion? NCR has restored civilization and industry, and a bunch of naked hobos with spears are supposed to pose a threat to it? An army of slaves who don't want to fight for their captors against a trained military. All these cartoonish factions are just so fucking bad. If you ask me what is worse, this story or this gameplay, I'd say that games are not movies. The graphics are disgusting. Since this is Oblivion, everything is intolerably ugly and all the characters are revolting. It already looks like a game from the previous century with its low-res textures, but also the whole art style is piss yellow-brown. Desolate Fallout at least used bold, dull colors, not this pastel poop rate bloom. All the art assets are ugly. The things which looked good in Fallout were changed to look as hideous and humanities as possible here. Well, at least you can run it in UWS UHD surround if you edit enough files. Courier's Stash. This thing adds some junk items into the game, and the canteen makes the whole drinking mechanic obsolete. Gunrunner's Arsenal. Adds a stall selling new weapon mods and new weapons. Also adds stupid challenges. Dead Money. It's a stupid heist side story unrelated to anything, which has a separate set of companions. Allows you to rob a vault and get tons of money you will have trouble spending. Honest Hearts. Abysmal unmemorable side story about tribesmen. Old World Blues. Disgustingly terrible side story making fun of ye old sci-fi pulp. So it's basically Borderlands, but even worse. The story ends with nothing. There's zero motivation to the villain. A role-playing game. It's filled with naked hobos with the worst shotguns in the game, who still are better than your endgame loot because their level is higher. At least you can make yourself at home in the tower. It has most of the workbenches, lockers, a big money shop, and you can grow plants in plant beds. Lonesome Road. The only DLC actually related to the game. You go after the guy from the campaign, to shoot nukes from 100 steps and suffer no consequences. The guy wants you to listen to his try-hard edgelord school shooter manifesto something. It's as dull and unmemorable as Honest Hearts. His words are so stupid they make no sense. He only whines about his blues and you are somehow to blame.